Thank you for subscribing to the channel. It's much appreciated. And for those who haven't subscribed yet, it would be much appreciated. Only take you a second. Thank you. Now, what I want to talk to you about today is getting your web address for any product you're selling into something that looks a little neater, well, a lot neater and more professional and easier for people to locate your book in the future just by memory. When people share a link for one of their books or a product that they're selling, or even a link in general, it's usually long, something like this. But I want to show you how to get this into something like this. Now, it certainly looks a lot better, doesn't it? And if you go into my descriptions below for this video, you'll see that all my links, and remember, I'm not affiliated to anything, so I'm not selling you anything regarding apps or anything like that, so don't worry. You'll see Stephen Peel, Stephen Peel, Stephen Peel, and then the name of the product. Instead of whatever that link is, whatever the product link is, when you do a search on the internet, and all the little numbers and letters and characters and everything else after that, it can look really bad. So here on my screen, I'm using an app called t.ly. Now that's the whole web address. Now what it'll allow me to do is, if I click on where my name is there, if I click on TLY, I can add whatever, let's say for instance this, a book on Amazon. I can paste that in there, I can shorten it, and there it is there. It's now, let me see if I can zoom in on that. It's now t.ly YRXD. Now okay, that's not so bad. It's certainly better than that huge line of text, but it's still not really good. So I can change it again. I can edit it. Now I could change that to The Urge, which is what that book was. Save it. So it's t.ly /The Urge. That's the full size of that domain name. Now I can share that link anywhere I like. Now there's lots and lots and lots of apps like this online. I haven't found a free one yet, unfortunately, that has easy features and good allowances. So I'm allowed here in October up to 500 links. So it's not bad. And up to now I've had 2,000 clicks on it. Now I only set this up a couple of days ago. So that's going okay. But it just looked better. It looks more professional. And as you can see here, I've got stephen.uk /book margin sizes instead of kdp.amazon.com/en_US help topics, blah, blah, blah. It's just much easier. It's much easier. But the other benefits are for selling your books. Now, when you're using social media platforms, and I'll show you that now, if I go to the Facebook page, which I set up and made some alterations to just yesterday, I set it up a lot earlier than that for you, the subscribers, and for anybody else who's interested in self-publishing. And there's a link in the description for this Facebook page. What I've done is I want to actually, well, I'll talk about that in another video actually, but for now we'll just look at creating a post. So if I take that information from here, from the Amazon address, which someone might do, and put it in a post, but it's awful. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove that and remove that. So if I go to here, where all my short links are, and I click on that, I shall copy it. I'll go back to here, and I'll add it in here. Now, straight away, you can see if I can zoom in a bit more. you can see how much better that looks than all that jargon a minute ago. So, and it's still given me the link. So it's much better to share my books. Now I can share an individual book, anything, through these links. And yeah, this is costing me $50 a year to use. But for me, it's worth it because it keeps things tidy. I can share my books and it looks neat and professional. Now, I don't use stephenpeel.uk for my books. I use that just for my website and for other bits and pieces. I have other ones for my books. And you can have a list. You can go into here and you can click on that and you'll have a list of all the names that you want. So how do you get the names? Well, this is the big one, really. This is where it gets a little tricky. And that's why I need to explain this to you. You have to purchase your own domain names. So whoever you do that with, make sure you have a little bit of freedom. Make sure you have the facility for web forwarding and email forwarding, and you'll see that on there. And they're pretty much all the same. All you want to do is buy the domain name and park it there. You don't want a free website or free page with your domain name. You don't need the mailboxes or any extras. You just need to buy the domain name, and you can get that you can get them as cheap as a dollar. You can get them as cheap as for a .com name. You might be able to get it as cheap as $10 or $20 for your first 12 months. It might go dearer after that, but it's never going to break the bank. But the name will be yours. So if you've got a book company that you want to build, create the name, buy the domain name. Now you're going to need two names. So what I've done is I've got stephenpeel.uk and I've got indiebooks.co.uk. So you need a fallback domain name in case the link doesn't get through on one, it'll get through on the other. So people won't miss out on getting the product information. And it's really straightforward. It uses the same link and it just alternates between the two. If it has to. I haven't found that problem yet. I've used it was called Simply Names originally, now it's names.co.uk. I've used these for my domain names for over 20 years. Never had an issue. Always had good service with them. I'm not affiliated to them. I don't make any money from any of these things. So, bear that in mind. I have to keep telling you this, don't I? I shouldn't, because I don't know whether this is your first video that you've seen on the channel. But I don't affiliate to anything, and I don't sell courses or anything like that. I just try to do things as easily as possible because I know that not all of us have a lot of money to spend on these kind of things. So I'm going to go to one of the names that I've purchased just to give you an example. So I go to my control panel. Here are my two domain names that I own, and I own others, of course. If I go down to DNS settings, this is important. This is where you'll make all your changes. It says here CNAME, records, etc. And this is the only bit you need to mess about with. Now, when you first buy your domain name, it'll already have something here. Remove them. Just delete them. Just delete those things. And get ready to put some fresh ones in. Now, this domain name is stephenpeel.uk. So I will put CNAME, and you can just click through these things. I will put www where it says domain, CNAME. So I've chosen that, as you can see there. It's quite easy to do. And stephenpeel.uk, which is this domain name. I go to Tilly. I go to domains. Now this is just this app. Now, I've not been with it long enough to give a review of it. It's okay up to now. I've had no problems with it. But there's lots of others that can do. I think GoDaddy do. They all kind of do it, some of these things. But, you really want the shortest link you can. It's not really going to matter when you use your own domain names, but if you don't want to use your own domain names, you can use, for instance, t.ly and then whatever it is your book is. If you don't want to go through this, messing about, but it's not that much of a messing about as I'm showing you now. So what happens is I go to domains. This is where I put my 2 domain names in. I follow the grey background there, which is https://stephenpeel.uk. I'll put the fallback one in here, which is the second domain name I've purchased. So that's why you have 2. And although you'll really be just using the one, but you could use the other one if you wish, I add. What happens then is t.ly will send me an email or a message, or I'll get a message to say add this number, which is for their website, t.ly. It's the actual address for that in numbers. They will give me that. They'll ask me to put it in A, done. Okay, so that's those 2 things finished, and I'll save. And that's it. I'll just wait for everything to be approved, which will take an hour, a few hours, a couple of days, whenever they manage to approve it, and I'm ready to go. That's it. It's that simple. So I hope that helps. The benefits of having a shorter web address outweigh the costs, the small costs that's involved. So if you want to really share your books and look professional, don't stick a great big chunky link on like this. Stick one on like this. Yeah, you're ready to go. By the way, that book, The Urge, I did a video on that recently. I uploaded it recently, and I've done that book just for you, the subscribers. For those of you that are interested in travel and adventure and things like that, and how to write a book and what kind of adventurers and travelers you are, and what you need to consider when writing a book on those subjects, and actually even making a living as a traveller, as an adventurer, and selling loads of books, because I think it's a great niche, or they're great niches to be in, evergreen niches. And I make no royalties on that book. Nothing. 0. I don't make a thing. I've put all of those prices for all regions to 0. I make nothing on it. It's for your benefit. And yeah, pick it up while it's so cheap. Why not? And that's it.